Hi, welcome to episode 315 of your favorite daily podcast, A Couple of Things, a podcast about things. On today's episode, I have one of my dearest friends, Onyinye, on the podcast, and we talk about a lot of things. We talk about how do you know when you're ready to get married, we talk about contentment, and how social media can make you think you want things that you don't actually want. It was a very enjoyable episode, short and sweet, and I'm sure you enjoy it. So, happy listening. Hi, welcome to today's episode of A Couple of Things. I have a guest today, and I'm very excited about this guest because this is one of my bestest friends in the whole world. And
Ooh.
I've known her for a very long time, but I'm going to leave that part for her to talk about. And my guest is Onyinye. I know this is like the fourth Onyinye that has been on this podcast. I just know so many Onyes, but all right. Hi Onyinye. Introduce yourself to the listeners.
Okay, let me just go back because I should have been the first Onye because I'm
This
the
is
number
you
one.
that you are the one that keeps canceling.
So
So
all the other Onye, sorry to you, Onye. The others are Onyes.
okay.
Anyway, my name is Onye. How do you introduce yourself?
Anyhow you want to.
Okay, my name is Onye. I'm a retired UX researcher.
Not be only retired.
I'm
Please.
retired, like please.
Okay.
I'm a mom of two, currently doing a master's in ABA.
Twins.
as per me and you are mom of two. Oh,
No, mom. Didn't you just say you were doing masters? I thought I was also doing masters. Wait,
oh,
please.
I'm so sorry because why did the mom of two parts stand out to me as the twins part?
Because I don't know. I don't know for you.
Okay, yeah, master twins. Woo! But you're going to graduate before me, Sha, because I'm going to be here for a while. It's like, okay, I'm doing masters for 2 years. That's half of a BSc. Like,
Eh, it's okay. What's your masters in? You not say.
I said
I mean, I
ABA.
know it, but
I said ABA,
what
but
was ABA for people that
okay,
don't know?
applied behavior analysis.
Okay, all right. Is that your introduction? Do you want to
That's
continue?
my introduction. What else?
I don't know now. It's your introduction. It's
That's
my
my
introduction.
introduction. Okay, yeah, you said how did we meet, Abi? How long have we known?
Yeah, that's the second question. So the next
Okay,
question, now that you have finished your introduction, is how do we know each other?
okay, we know each other from Unilag, so we're classmates in Unilag. Somehow, honestly, I miss just the. There's something about school and having people in school.
Yeah.
Do I think that's what's missing in this masters. Because I'll feed you home assignment. I'm like, okay, but what's my roach rubbish? There's no way to proofread this thing for me or whatever.
I'm screaming.
Anyway, so we've known each other since Unilag.
10
But
years.
it's been
Imagine that.
2 years that day. Oh
Can you
god.
imagine? 10
Wow.
years.
Oh, I
It
mean,
was
I was like
Nazom.
older than everybody, but now I'm even like too old.
It was Nazom that told me that it was 10 years. I was like, no, it's not 10 years because like it was just like 5 years ago. What are you talking about?
But a lot has happened, and
A
to be
lot.
honest, I can barely remember like Unilag like that. To be honest, it's such a distant. Like a world of things have happened since then.
It's not that long ago though.
10 years, Nade. 10 years.
And 10 years is long, but it's not that
It's
long.
long, and then it's not even about the time. I think it's the experiences afterwards.
Yeah, a lot of
So
things have
there's been
definitely
so
happened
much
since
life
then.
packed in those 10 years.
Definitely. I agree with
So
that.
it's like, more. I can't even honestly. And then I think back on the times where like one assignment or a grade was so important. And I'm like, those things
Mm,
weren't as important as we thought they were.
yeah. Like the most important thing that you were spazzing about was, oh, this deadline and this
Mhm,
homework.
mhm.
And now, what does that mean? Nothing.
Like so insignificant in the scheme of things. Like yeah, there's so much more to life.
There is so much more to life. But anyway, yeah. So we've known each other for 10 years. I think now, because the reason why this thing is always shocking to me is because before, like when I know people now, I've known people for 10, like 10 plus years now, and it's very shocking to me because obviously when I was younger, I did not know anybody for 10 years. So no, like, no, it's like wow, I've known people for because that thing used to make me really sad before because people be like, oh, this is my friend from primary school. I've been known each other for 10 years, and I'm
Like
just like,
people have friends from primary school.
bro, I'm so shocked. Like there are a few people from primary school that I see around, like
But
on the
they're
internet, and we say hi to each other. If we somehow randomly bump into each other in a physical space, we catch up just a bit. But I don't have any close friends from primary school.
Like
And
I
then
would
people would be like,
imagine, what do you have in common?
no, and but the people that are like, oh, this has been my best friend since I was in primary two. And
Okay,
we've
but
known each other. So when we're in uni, they would have been like, "Oh, we've known each other for 10 years, for 15 years," and it used to really annoy me that I didn't know anybody for that long. But now I know so many people.
love it, love
So
it.
all you need is time. That's it.
Yeah, you
All you
know,
need is time.
yeah.
But anyway, what's on your mind today?
What?
You must find something on your mind. There's something on everybody's
Oh
mind.
my goodness, what was on my mind? Oh man,
If you don't say what's on your mind, I'll just ask you the most random questions you can think
ask me
about.
random question, please. I don't have anything on my mind. Oh, I don't have anything on my mind that I want to share. I don't share
Okay.
what's on my mind.
Fine. I'm going to ask you random questions,
Ask me.
starting with guest questions that I have received. Some of them I've answered, some of them I've not answered.
Okay,
So we'll start with the one that I've not answered.
okay.
How did you know you were ready to be married? This is a
Girl,
question from Joe. And I've had this question for like 5 months. Four
why haven't you answered
months.
this?
Why have I not answered it? Because
Yeah.
I was waiting for my superior and my senior to come and answer it.
Ah, okay. I guess that's me.
Yeah, that's you. You're my
Fair
senior.
enough. Okay. How did I know I was ready to get married? That's the question, yeah?
Yeah, that's the question.
Okay, how did I know I was ready to
I
get married?
guess the person's question generally is, how do you know, like as a person, how do you know that you are ready to get married?
Honestly, I feel like, I mean, it's different for everybody because I don't
Mm,
think there are any two people that have the same answer. So I'm just going to
mm-hmm.
speak from my experience because I can't speak for anybody else. Some people, like, people have different metrics for marriage readiness. Some people think
Yeah,
when they have like their dream career, their dream job, or at a certain age,
yeah,
or different. People have different metrics. But for me, I think it was more to do with the person because like I started dating this person and I just knew this was the person I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Like it just made sense and I did not want to not be with that person. Like I didn't want to continue life like in my own because we're even in a I was gonna say long distance relationship, but it was mainland island thing. But
oh yeah,
that's
please,
a long distance relationship in
please,
Lagos.
please, please,
I
please.
was done. I was like, please, I don't want to be in a long distance relationship anymore. I
You're
want to be
actually
my
stressing me
friend.
out.
I want to be my person. But I think it was more about the person for me. So I
Mm,
just knew that this was my person. And why I think the most important marker for me was the lack of like emotional turmoil. There was just peace. There was just, it just felt like home. He felt like home. And I
mm.
wanted to go home, basically. That was it.
Oh my god, that is oh my god, what? Wow, that is so beautiful.
Yeah,
Wow,
so that was how I felt. And that was so I was
yeah.
ready.
I think I agree with you that it's about the person,
Yeah.
because for me, as everybody who knows me and knows my life knows that marriage was not like a very big important thing for me before. So for me, it was just like when I met this person, I was like, I remember telling somebody that in my life I've never felt safe with men,
Mm,
but from the first day that I met my husband,
yeah.
I felt safe with him. And
Mm,
that did something in my brain that okay, okay, maybe perhaps marriage could be a thing. Let's see. And as we continued in the relationship, I was like, yeah, this man is not going anywhere. we're, we're locked. We're gonna be locked in.
That's something that is very common with like my friends, like are with that one.
Mm.
Like I have another friend, like she knew from the first day they spoke, and she's like, "This man, you're not going anywhere. Why
No,
you
it's like I'm. It's like this man. No, we're gonna do this. But in terms of like, when do we actually then like? Oh, now it's time to. This is not the time that
okay,
we're
fair enough.
marrying.
Hmm.
That was a different thing.
That's a
Because it's
different
one thing to
conversation.
know that,
Yeah.
oh, this person, we're locked in, we're going to do this life thing forever and ever. But
Hmm.
the when does it okay, also for me mentally, I think that the way, because for both of us,
Yeah.
we already started like sharing our lives even before we got married. So
Yeah.
like finances, everything. We're open about everything, everything. So like the thing didn't make any, it wasn't like, oh, we must marry Nana now.
Yeah.
Because from the beginning, it was just like we're just already in our lives. I don't know how to explain it. So the thing that actually like flipped the switch, like, okay, now is a good time to marry.
Mm.
Of course, after lots of praying and certainty, like,
Yeah.
like I know that I already decided long ago that I want to follow you and go. But if God said no, I'm so sorry. This is where
Yeah.
we're gonna end it. I'm going
Yeah.
to cry a lot, but we're gonna end it here.
Yeah.
But the yeah, so anyway, the thing that really like, okay, now it's time for us to actually, marry. Even though for us in our minds there was no there, like me and him were already doing our life together, but to other people it wasn't real
Yeah.
because we hadn't married yet.
That's okay. That's okay.
And that was one thing that I was like, okay, maybe we should start like thinking about this getting married thing more,
Yeah.
because we already had a plan. It was supposed to be like more in the future, not
Yeah.
when we actually did it. And then the second thing was COVID. It was like, ah, people are just dying anyhow. things are things are happening.
Not can we quickly marry before we die?
Let's just like, what are we waiting for? We already know we want to do this. We had a plan. Like it was going to be in X number of years from when we actually did
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
like we already know we want to do this. What are we waiting for?
Mm.
Like let's say, okay, we can say that we're waiting to get our money up, or we're waiting for this or that or that. But like, no, but really, what are we waiting for? When we thought
Mm.
about it, we're like, there's really nothing we're waiting for. And we've seen how short life can be. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, these things that, oh, life is short, blah blah blah, but like nothing wakes you up to that fact than a pandemic.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And so we're like, okay, now let's just go for it. Let's do it. So yeah.
That okay, that was the timing for you. The thing for us, right, is that like 2 weeks into our relationship, we knew we wanted to get married. But I think for us, we're waiting for when it will like everybody else will be comfortable.
You won't look weird to people.
Because if you had come like 1 month into relationship, like okay, oh, we're ready to marry you, everybody be like, are you like surely
Hope
like
not
this
to.
honeymoon phase, you guys, people would have been asking so many. So we knew, but like okay, so we need to wait till it's not weird.
To
Then
a respectable amount of time.
a respectable amount of time. So it was like, okay, fine, let's just do this. That's how we dated and dated and dated and dated. And, oh my goodness, for 1 year, when we already knew 2 weeks, like, excuse me, I just celebrated 5 years of marriage. So I'm like, I should have celebrated my like sixth or seventh.
That is so funny because I think for us it was also the same thing. But
Yeah.
then I was like, if I get married at 21, I don't even know that like mentally. That would be such a huge shock and a huge shift for everybody
We'll be
involved.
like, you're just a baby. Can you please?
Okay, moving on from I'm just asking the question that is on my um audience question list.
Yeah.
So all right, so next question that I want to ask. This is a question that has been talked about on the podcast before, but I want to hear what you think because I think you have a great perspective on this topic.
Hmm.
How do you handle feeling some type of way about someone else's success? I want to be genuinely happy for my friends and just people in general, but I start feeling jealous and sometimes resentment creeps in when I see what they've accomplished.
You know this topic because it makes me think. There's this meme that went around one time, like when if your friend is successful and you're not happy about, tap yourself on your chest and say I'm a witch or something funny. Like it was so I see that meme and I'm like, okay, so but where's the grace here? And why are we all pretending like we've never
You
felt that?
never felt. Thank you so much.
Like it was like, oh really? Like so your friend's success, how do you stop feeling? The thing is, like we're human beings, we're social people. Like you can't live your life outside of other people, and it's. I think it's just human to like at times compare your life with other people. I'm like, oh, where am I? Where this is where I am. This is where other people are.
Yeah.
But there's something like, well, like I feel like don't beat yourself up too badly for feeling that way. I think what's more important is when the feeling comes, what do you do about it? I think that's what's more important. Like, what do you do? Your action that you can control. What are the actions you take? So that's where your responsibility comes in. And
Yeah.
it's like, if you have felt this way, what do I do? Do I sit and wallow? And because if you give into it, like it goes into full blown jealousy, and you might not even like this person anymore. And like jealousy could lead to so many things. Like, I mean, Cain killed his brother out of jealousy, so we could go
Yeah.
in that direction. Like, it could actually take you down that path, or you could just sit down and just, okay, this is how I'm feeling. But the truth of the matter is, because most times you're actually happy for your friend. Like, that's if you're not a crazy
Exactly.
person.
If you're not really a witch.
You're not pain. Like, I want to assume you're not. But like, you actually find out that you're actually happy for your friend, but you want the things to be happening to you at the same time. But that's not
Exactly.
how life works. Like, everybody's on their own journey. Because I think about my own life, and when Unilag together, but I'd had a whole world of life before
Before
that.
then, yeah.
And then so it was like immediately after Unilag, like life just kicked off for me. I got married, I had my kids, I had my job, career, like everything was so like people that were like on maybe in the same class with me in Unilag could have felt some type of way, like, oh, Onye's journey is faster. But like in real life, like in reality, like I was a bit slower than other people that were my actual age mates. So like everybody's on their own journey. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And God is a restorer. So my case was a case of God actually restoring me to a point where I could actually, in quotes, catch up, because it's not even you're not even
Yeah.
you're not even on a journey against another person. Like, there's no first or second on the race. Everybody just runs their own race, and
Mm-hmm.
goal is to get to the finish line whenever you get to the finish line. And so I just feel like, just what you do about it, like, as long as you're genuinely happy for your friend, I think the first thing to do is just to pray, because like it's very important. Just pray and just tell God how you're feeling. And, like, you don't want to be a jealous person. I don't want to be a jealous person. I feel some type of way. And the truth of the matter is that there's if when you have that feeling, you should also try to give thanks. Like, just sit down, pick out a pen and paper, and just list out the things you're grateful for, things you have. Because I also try to look at people holistically. This is something I do, because when I see something I admire in a person, I'm like, oh, I like this thing. But it's like, I don't want the person's life, because it's like, okay, if you want this thing, you don't just get to pick and choose. Like, this person is a whole person, and you're
Yeah.
just an aspect of the person's life. And so if you were to take the person's entire life, this person has gone through struggles that you might not even be able to stand, like, you might not be able to survive a day in. But you see the past that is so wonderful, and you're like, oh, I want this. But you don't want the entire life. So I've found over time that when I look at people's life, like the entirety of it, I don't want anybody's life. Like, if that's what it would take to get that thing I admire, I really don't want it. I don't want it. Like, I love my life. I love aspects of my life. I want, oh, some things look more appealing in someone's life, but I really don't want the person's life. So you need to look at the person's life holistically, and look at your own life holistically, because you'll find that there are areas that God has blessed you like immensely. Because God is a just God. Like, he gives people gifts. Like,
Yep.
he doesn't want to give his children gifts. So you have things, you have gifts, you have talent, you have blessings in your life that like other people are actually looking at and like, wow, this person is so blessed. So look at yourself holistically and just write down things you should be thankful for and be grateful for them. And so I think gratitude helps to battle like jealousy in that sense, because jealousy comes from a place of lack. Like, you feel like, oh, there's something that is lacking in your life sometimes, because this person has this thing, so that therefore that thing is lacking in your life. But you actually, if you look at the entirety of your life, you actually might not need that thing as much as you think you do. It looks good on the other person.
On paper, yeah.
When you get it, it doesn't even look, because it's not time and it's not yours. But what's yours will always fit perfectly. So just, yeah, that's my
That
take.
is, that is, yeah, I feel 100. I agree with everything you said. Because it's like so true that sometimes we can get so wrapped up in the things that we feel like we don't have that we
Yeah,
want, that we
yeah,
don't see the things that we do have that
yeah,
we wanted, even the
yeah.
things that we didn't even envision having that we have, that we appreciate and are grateful for, and other people are looking at our lives like, oh wow, I wish I had that too.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't see those things because we're so focused on the things that we don't have yet,
yeah.
or something that somebody had that maybe you didn't even want, but you just saw that somebody has it and you're like,
OMG.
I want that too now.
Yeah, and
But
there's
when
some,
you
there's
no,
something
go
I would
ahead.
like to add. Like, there's also a place of contentment. Like, the truth of the matter is that, like, the world we're living in right now is wired to make you want things continuously.
Exactly.
One things you don't need, one things that when you get them, you're like, why did I want this thing in the first place? Like the way the world is wired with social media, with everybody
So
just posting.
exposed to so
So
many
yeah, yeah,
things.
and you can even see, because you're even talking about your friend now. So you can see maybe a celebrity in another country, and because both of you are on social media, somehow you think both of you are on the same level, and you should have the
And
things
you should be
that the
spending
person
money the way they are
has.
spending
Exactly.
and
But
doing
like
things they are doing.
but like contentment is so key right now. Like, so I think a prayer point you need to have is just for God to help you, like, for God to help you to be content with the things that you have, because it's a legit prayer. Because right now it's your friend, but if you look around, you find that it's not even just your friend that
Mm-hmm.
you want things like that she or he has. There are other people, so you need to practice contentment. You need to pray about contentment, and you need to genuinely believe that everything single thing you have is actually the best, is the best, because I like that approach usually
Mm.
helps, I find, generally, because I always, I everything that is mine in life, I always treat it like it's the best,
Yeah.
is the best thing. So just have that approach. Yeah,
And I think that it still doesn't like negate the idea of believing that there can be more.
yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
But you shouldn't then like be so focused on the future more that you're not appreciating what you have now.
Exactly. So don't, like, discontentment and like
Exactly.
make it
So
like
you
affect the quality of your life. Like,
exactly. And I think that that thing you said about like being so exposed to so many things. I think I talked about something like that once about like overconsumption of things. Like because you're on Instagram and you're seeing somebody has remodeled their house 3 times this year. That's
yeah,
not normal.
yeah,
That's actually not the everyday average person's life. Like the average person is not remodeling their house 3 times in a year. They are
yeah,
not repainting their house and changing all their furniture once or twice a year. That's not actually normal.
yeah.
Especially when you're a young person, you're comparing yourself with people that have been alive for longer than you have. It's
Life.
a long, long time. And even if it's your peers, like people have different backgrounds and experiences and things. Like everybody's journey is different. So acknowledging that to yourself is very, very important. And
Mm.
there was something you said about like um seeing things on social media that makes you want things. But the funny thing is that some of those things you don't actually want them.
You think you do exactly.
Like those things you if you don't see them, even if you like they don't you're not interested in those things
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
but you've told yourself that you are because you've seen it so much on social media.
Yep.
Like recently I came to the realization that I actually don't care about traveling to multiple countries.
Oh my God, Lade, do you know oh God.
Like I actually just realized that no, like this is actually not something I care for. It's not something that I want to
It's so cute.
spend so much time and energy trying to do. But there was a time where in my mind I felt like I had to do that because I was seeing everybody talking
But
about
it has been
traveling
heavily
on
marketed to
Instagram.
you. Like, it has been heavy. You see that traveling, or like it has been heavily marketed, and people are like, "Oh, I must go to." But like you find out some when people travel, sometimes they're not even happy where they go. They're not as
Exactly.
comfortable, and you're spending a lot of money, and it's like, what's even the point? Like, and the truth of the matter, like, some people are like, okay, I mean, there are travelers that actually immerse themselves in people's
Oh yeah.
culture. But most of the time, you're just sitting in a hotel room and sleeping. Like, you could be sleeping in your
Which
house.
is I mean, which is also fine. It's fine if you want to go to another country to sleep in a hotel in a different bed from your bed or whatever. But my thing
Yeah.
is like I just realized that this whole traveling thing, I don't really care for it. It's not
Fair.
really a like, oh, if my friends are like, oh, let's go on a trip somewhere, I will go because I'm going with my friends. So for me, it's more of the
Exactly.
friendship thing. I'm
Yeah.
building my friendship. That's why like the idea of solo trips, I don't care.
I think there are specific people that have those desires that are actually their
Exactly.
own.
That's what
Not
I'm saying. That
yeah.
like, but you can become convinced by constant exposure to things that you want something that you don't actually want.
Reminds me of my exposure effect in psychology.
Exactly. That is so true. Just the fact that you keep seeing something, you
Yeah.
then think that, oh, I
It,
want it. It's
yeah.
nice. I like it. But actually, you don't. Like,
Yeah.
if you actually remove yourself from all of those things and you
Yeah.
sit down and think about it, you
Yeah.
actually don't.
You
But
don't.
you've convinced yourself that you do because you've seen it so much and everybody is talking about it. And it's like, oh, I actually have a draft in my notes of an episode I want to talk about like, you don't need to travel for your life to be meaningful, because it's almost become a thing where like, oh, if you've not traveled to 100 countries, what are you really doing with your life? But bro, I don't want to travel. I would rather spend my money on food. I would rather spend my money going to a restaurant and eating a 5 course
Like
menu.
on my actual, the quality of my actual day-to-day life actually matters to me so much more.
Exactly. So exactly, just find what is important to you, what things you like,
Yeah.
and do that. And
That is your own. So
mm,
something I use as a metric is when I'm buying things, because like I think we've all had, like, I don't know about you, but there's, you see some clothes on social media, absolutely have to have it, and then when you buy it, you're like, okay, moving on. But something I use as a metric, because there's sometime there was a period when I was getting convicted by the Holy Spirit, and I used to ask myself this question before I made any purchase. I was like, if nobody was ever going to see this thing, would I still buy it? Like,
that's a
I was not
very
going to
good
make any
framework.
posts. If I was not going to make any posts on social media, I was going to live in my house. Like, nobody was ever going to see it. One of those outfits that you wear, you go out and nobody sees your fine clothes or
Yeah.
your perfume. And because for me it was perfumes, because I really love perfumes. But like for me it was the fact that I would be in my house. I rarely go out, but I spray like three perfumes every day, just to go from my room to my office to like do my schoolwork. So
Yeah.
that's why I knew that, okay, I really enjoy buying perfumes. So that's why I asked myself, if nobody was going to see this thing, would I still buy it? If the answer is yes, I would go ahead. If the answer is no, I'll just move on.
I actually like this framework and I haven't thought about it before. So this is actually a very good framework to assess your desire.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, cool. So let's see, maybe one more question. Well, about almost 30 minutes in. Should we do one more question?
Yeah, yeah, let's do one.
Let me see. Uh ooh, okay, no. I want to ask you something that, oh yes, a fun question, nothing so heavy and serious.
Yay.
What are your pet peeves?
Oh my goodness, pet peeves. Oh gosh, that should not be a heavy question, right? But then it's me. Pet peeves. Okay, I think I don't even know if it's a pet peeve, because again, it's me. Everything is always heavy. I'm so sorry. But like I used to, so something that used to bother me a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
doesn't bother me as much. Thank God for growth. I used to be really disturbed by when people were being dishonest with me.
Ah,
Oh my goodness. It used to bother me a lot, because I think I'm a very discerning person. So a lot of times when people are lying to me, I always know. And this is not just me being like a paranoid person, because
yeah.
there's some paranoia that always, like, some people are paranoid and they just
Yeah,
always
they
see
think
somebody.
that,
But it
yeah.
was not even paranoia. Like, I just have a very strong sense of discernment, and when people are being dishonest to me, I usually know. So it used to bother me a lot, because I'm like, this person is clearly lying to me. Like, I know you're lying to me, but what's the point? Can you just be honest? And I would always like give people chances, like, because when they lie, so I would try to give them like
And
like
out.
out. So I used to give people out a lot. I'm like, please just come out of this thing. Like, I would give grace, give so much out. And then, so what really used to bother me was people that would actually
They'll
just
keep
sit
digging
and
deeper.
sit there and just, oh my goodness. It used to drive me like nuts. But then I think it was something of, I had to pray about it. Like, I just got convicted of it. Holy Spirit helps me with it. So now, like, it's not even about, I don't think the purpose of having that discernment is not to be getting riled up emotionally. Is to
Mm,
if you notice somebody's lying, go and pray for them. Pray
yeah.
for, yeah, take it to them in prayer. So like the point of the gifts of the spirit is for the edification of the church, of your brethren. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't pray for
Mm-hmm.
the person, that the person will stop lying. or or if it's a fear thing, if person's afraid, that the person will be more courageous.
Mm,
Person, pray for courage for the person, pray for truth, pray for, for the Holy Spirit to actually convict that person of the lie. So that's something that used to bother me a lot. But that's too heavy. So pet peeves, Very pet peeve. Oh my goodness. What's a pet
Or yeah,
peeve?
most people will be like, "Oh, I hate it when people put wet socks on the table or something."
Why did everybody the people
I,
around me?
I don't know. I'm just saying as an example. Don't take me so literally,
I'm going to
please.
give you another pet peeve that is
Okay.
heavy as well because this is who I am. You know when people okay, something that happens to me, I'm a mom, and then my baby has been crying for a while, and then someone just comes over with advice. Oh, maybe you should feed the baby. Maybe you should carry the baby like this. Maybe you should. And I'm like, I've tried, like clearly I've tried everything, but people just come and just assume you've not done anything.
Anything, and they have the magic answer.
Carry and like most times when you meet a mom that is like with a crying baby and she like she's
She
a
she's
first of
already
all
flustered.
she's flustered, she's feeling terrible that her baby is disturbing, like baby's making noise, like she's thinking of her baby's comfort, she's now thinking of everybody else's comfort around,
Yeah.
and she's trying everything that she can to actually stop that baby from crying. So when you come with your useless advice, because most times it's useless, because if you know anything about kids, you know that first of all,
Most
if you
most
don't even know
advice
that,
is useless.
if you don't know that child, like you don't know anything about what to make that child stop crying. So you as a stranger, you don't know anything. You're the one that doesn't know anything, not the mother that has been trying. So that thing really bothers me a lot when
Yeah.
people just give mother, you're not even being helpful. You're like, oh, let me carry the child and see if I can stop the child from crying. Oh, or just ask, oh, what do you need help with? That's more helpful than actually
Yeah.
listening. So that bothers me a lot. Like, like
Yeah. I feel like something tangential to that in general is people who are excessively annoyed by children crying in public. I hate that. It's very irritating to me. It's a child. Children will cry. Like what are you complaining about? A child is crying. Okay.
I always smile when I experience things like that because I mean most times people like that don't have not experienced children, so they don't understand. They've not experienced children. They're either not parents or they don't have anybody close to them that have kids. But
That's
they will
true.
they will understand one day, and when they do, no, no, for real. Because if you're going to be a parent, the point of you're a parent, at that point, I would hope that because most times people actually look back like, what was I doing then?
Hmm.
So sometimes I just try to extend grace for people like that because
No, that thing actually really annoys me. Like,
it bother, yeah,
the children crying because it's a child.
yeah.
Children cry.
Like
Or
they're just very self-centered and they don't think about what it's like to have a child. They have no context or
like,
range.
do you think that the parents who their child is literally screaming in their ear does not know that the child is crying?
Oh, no, they don't care. They don't care about the parents. No, it's just care about like their peace or whatever being bothered. It's very interesting. So as a parent, I try not to like take offense on some things that have to do with parenting, except with that
Yeah.
one. If it's not offense, but I just get bothered
Get
because it
annoyed,
doesn't
yeah.
happen to me a lot. Like when people come and give me, I will tell you that, oh please, I know exactly what I'm doing and stuff. But when I see other moms that can't handle it and
Yeah.
feel horrible, like I actually feel like bad for them. So I know I try not to get like
Angry,
annoyed at
upset,
things,
yeah.
upset at things, so that I don't hold any grudge or whatever. I
Yeah.
just try to extend people grace.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for
That's all.
today. Do you want to answer more questions? I said I was
I'm
going to ask you
enjoying
one
this.
more.
So maybe I should come back for part two. Why did it take me so long to do this thing?
Is you ask yourself that question
And
because
it's
I've been
ending
trying to get
December.
you on here for so long. Eh?
It's ending December.
It's ending December. Oh. I'm
Ah,
not
I
continuing,
came in
please.
December.
Eh?
How to do another
You
episode?
want to do another episode? Okay, we'll
Yeah.
do another episode.
Yeah.
This is good. I already have one more episode sorted. Amazing. So
Mm.
that's it for today's
Oh,
episode. Do
I
you
really
have anything else you want to share?
no. I don't like to share.
Oh my god.
Don't ask me if I'm not sharing. Like I don't
All right then.
tomorrow. I don't.
Oh my god. All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you
You're,
for coming on the podcast. And
you're
thank you for
welcome.
listening to people who are listening.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh yeah, you're actually stressing me out.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of A Couple of Things. If there was anything you found interesting or insightful or you enjoyed the episode, please do share to someone or multiple people. Like, leave a comment, and definitely do subscribe and all the nice things. Bye.